Good evening and welcome to the Korumburra Showgrounds for the West Gippsland Football Netball Competition. Alex Scott and staff, match of the round thanks to Totally Workwear Gippsland. They're out at Warrigal, Wonthaggi, Traralgon and Pakenham. I'm Brad Sinclair. It's a big game between Korumburra, Bena and Dalyston, and joining me as he is always is Kyle Pover. Good evening, Kyle.
Evening, Brad. How are we?
The beautiful weather, lovely night.
It is. It's pretty cold out here at Korumburra. I left home at Berwick about 4 o'clock this afternoon, and it was a beautiful, nice, warm, sunny day. I had the aircon on halfway here, and by the time I sort of got to Tooradin, Lang Lang, that sort of area, I had the heater on.
Yeah, it's a nice, clear night because it can get nasty up here in Korumburra. It can get windy and wet, so we're in for a good one. I spoke to the president during the week, Troy Patterson of the Korumburra side, and he said the ground was just okay. Looks beautiful from where I'm standing right now. The great man too, I must say, for Dalyston, the assistant coach, is the great man from the Sydney Swans team of the century, Stevie Wright. So his son's playing for them, Josh. I look forward to seeing how he goes. Josh would be...
Bit before my time, I reckon, Brad.
Stevie Wright.
How long ago did Stevie Wright play?
Oh, yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah.
Long time ago. But what, team of the century, absolute champion. He was part of that group.
The South Melbourne group.
Yes, moved up in 82 for the Sydney Swans. So he did coach Kilcunda Bass a couple of years ago, and he's coached out at MDU. He was actually the VFL coach for the North Ballarat side back in the old VFA days when they were in it too. So he's been around.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I didn't even know that. I've heard his name before, but I didn't know he was part of the team of the century. So it's a good resource to have at a small country town like Korumburra. So
they've had some good players come through there, haven't they?
They have, absolutely.
His small little rover he was, and he was as hard as a cat's head, Stevie Wright. So this one tonight, we'll try to keep you up to date with scores that have happened, or scores that have happened throughout the day, obviously, in the West Gippy competition. It's an Anzac Day, big Anzac Day. We're going to struggle a little bit with Korumburra Bena because they've got an Anzac strip on, and the numbers that we've been given are entirely different to what they're running around in. So that's going to be really, really difficult. So the beauty of live stream is you can see them, so you'll know who they are if you're watching this. So I'm always worry about the ruckman. Number 17, hopefully he's in the right jumper for the Korumburra Bena side. Tyler Newton, by the looks of him. There's a massive man out there for Dalyston. Jack Murray, number 28. When you get a chance, have a look at him. He is a big, big man.
I do know one of the Dalyston players, Brad. I used to play with him.
Not Paul Fermanis. Oh, no, he's at Korumburra, sorry.
I used to play with Jack Parra, who's a new recruit this year for Dalyston. He's a athletic sort of... now, he's not the tallest ruckman going around.
Paravicini.
Yes, Paravicini. Goes by the name of Jack Parra. So I reckon if you call him Parra instead of Paravicini, you'll get away with it. So, yeah, I used to play with Jack Parra down at Scoresby, and he's crossed over this year as a big-name recruit. Loves a long-sleeve jumper, Brad.
Has he got it on tonight?
He's got the long sleeve on tonight, so...
there he is, yeah.
Perfect long-sleeve weather. He's out there, so... Just keep an eye out for him because I'm telling you, he's got one of the best leaps you'll see in local footy. He's got a great vertical leap, hence why he plays more in the ruck and almost that extra on-baller because he's not the tallest bloke going around, but he's got one hell of a leap. Look
forward to that then. I'll tell you what, seen a bloke that could jump today in a game that I called, and he ended up kicking 13.
Is that all?
Yeah, and he had an offside that kicked a dozen. So they kicked 25 between the two key forwards today.
You'd take 25 goals for a season.
You would, yes. And, we're talking about...
Nearly a goal and a half a game.
Well, on the matter of goals, Kyle, the mighty Saints last night were pretty good.
Yeah, just got the job done.
Yeah.
2 weeks in a row, not playing at their best, and they've got the job done. So, look, I'm still not giving myself over to them fully yet because... I've been heartbroken one too many times by the Saints.
Geez, I've booked my holidays. I'm not going to miss that. I'm going to take a week off and watch the mighty Saints win a premiership this year. First one since '66 and only their second.
Brad, I'm that confident that we won't win the flag that if St Kilda wins the premiership in 2022, you won't see me back next year because I'll still be partying.
Yeah, it will be a massive party. So this game tonight, I'm looking forward to it. And as we said, just bear with us on numbers because there are an incredible amount of number changes. And so we will be relying on you guys watching this on the live stream, and we'll call it as best as we can. And they're good lights. I mean, this is a ground.
I was just thinking that before, Brad.
Yeah.
Immaculate lights.
This ground used to be, I coached here a few times, and the coaches' boxes used to be on this side of the ground, and you would get wet, windy. It was a bog heap along the boundary in front of the coaches' boxes. It was a tough ground to coach.
It used to be the Bulldogs, were they?
Yes, yeah, originally, yeah. And now the ground is magnificent. The new big coaches' boxes on the outer side. You've got, I've always loved their stand and their social club area. A great scoreboard there in the forward pocket. We will call that the city end to the right of your screen, and to the left we'll call that the Korumburra end of the ground. And remembering, if I do say Korumburra, remember it is Korumburra Bena, and I know some locals don't like that, but it's a mouthful to get out when you're in a rush. So the coaches, Peter Dunlop, a Dalyston legend.
He is.
To coach the footy club.
Very good cricketer as well, Peter Dunlop. He's played for probably every single cricket club in the Ferntree Gully District Cricket Association.
Up that way, okay.
So he's currently, he's coach of Knox Gardens Cricket Club, who over the last couple of years have been one of the better teams, and he's a very good batsman, and he's left-hand opener and refers to himself as Brian Lara. So he does. He's a good cricketer, and I think he knows it too.
Wow. Well, there you go. Cole's just gone whack early. And the coach of Korumburra Bena, Lee Cole, I don't know too much about Lee. And I haven't seen Korumburra or Dalyston, either of these sides, play this year, and certainly haven't seen them play for the last couple because we only got a few games in last year, and the year before there was no footy. So it's as good as those lights are for these old eyes, it's going to be a challenge. But all in readiness as they're starting to take their positions. Now it looks like Korumburra will kick to the city end and Dalyston will kick to the left of your screen. So Marotta is a little midfielder for Dalyston that's an absolute ripper. So it'll be Tyler Newton in the ruck for Korumburra Bena, and it'll be Jack Murray, as I said, Man Mountain, in the ruck for Dalyston. As the siren goes, and we're just about to get underway. Salabrine in the middle as well, with the Bonts Like Mine. And we'll have a secondary bounce. We'll throw up as it goes up. The big fella there in Murray gets the tap down. The umpire's pulled a free kick, and it's a holding free kick. It'll go to Korumburra. They go inside 50. Oh, dropping the mark there was the Dalyston fella. He gets it out to the outer side, and it looks like Murfitt. He can't take control. Half a throw there. So, that was another throw. The big fella has got it. Moves quite well by the looks of it. Does Murray. The kick wasn't great. It's been turned over. Nation inside 50. Dropping the mark. Hands out. And we'll have a rush behind for the first score of the evening. Looking forward to seeing Korumburra Bena's Paul Fermanis and how he goes tonight as Hal takes the mark from the kick in. He'll come to the wing on the commentary box side of the ground. Ball beats Paravicini, or we'll call him Para.
Out
over Jack the boundary line.
You're right about Murray, Brad. He's a big boy.
Isn't he? He reminds me of, it might probably past your time too, Big Mickey Nolan many years ago, as hurried kick forward from Ford. Finds a teammate in Tate. This boy can play. Watch him tonight, Clay Tate. Goes towards centre half forward with a high ball. Pack of players punched forward. Linking well, the Bena boys. Again, now they have a chance to come through the middle. He's lowered eyes, but he's only hit up his opponent there in Pierce. Back through the middle. He's another one that can play. He's Marotta. Watch him tonight. Great player for the Magpies. Dare I say it, and I hate saying that, Kyle.
Yeah, we think everyone's well familiar with your hatred for the Collingwood Football Club by now, Brad.
Big game Monday against the Bombers, Anzac Day game, as Ford brings the ball up to the outer wing. Quick hands out towards Marotta. Just knock forward. So a lot of orange jumpers around there, but streaming through for the Magpies was Lockridge. Hurried snap at goal for the Pies, but misses to the left. So
that was my man Parra as well.
So where did you play with him, Scoresby, you said?
Scoresby, yeah. He was only a young fella when I was playing.
Geez, back in the day, that was a footy factory.
Yeah, some good players at Scoresby.
A good Saint, little, what was his name? He went back there and coached.
Christian Bardsley is still coaching the Scoresby Football
is he
Club
really?
I think it's his third stint.
Okay, well, they're going to go straight in and kick. No, they're not. Running into an open goal then was Wallace, and he's missed. Ah, yes, Christian Bardsley, I liked him, and I think he might be famous for Gary Ablett's elbow.
Gary Ablett reconstructed his face.
Yes.
Dan Gregg played
what a player.
He was a captain coach at St Kilda. Talk about some hard, tough players. He was as tough as they come. Dean Rice, my housemate, Brad, he played one season at Scoresby with his good mates with Dean Gregg. So,
geez, I liked Greggy. He was tough. Dean Rice, I did not know he played at Scoresby. They bring the ball back in, beats Paravicini. Oh, half a throw there in the end, and they'll take the ball out over the boundary line. And as we say, we'll go with Salabrine on 9 in the midfield with the bald Bonds.
It's a small ground here, Brad. It looks it from side on, but then I'm behind the goals, and I thought, maybe not.
Long and narrow.
Yeah, maybe that's a better indication.
Western Oval, I liken it to. Footscray, or the Western Bulldogs ground, as it comes out to Howe. They go to centre half forward, and this is one of the players that I was talking about earlier in Tate. Gets it in deep. Good solid defence from the Borough. But now, quick kick at goal, and that's the boy, Hayden Wallace, that ran into the open goal earlier and missed. Had Marotta screaming for it, square of him, but decided to have a go at it. And he gets the first goal of the evening at the 5-minute mark. And they go on to 1-7 Dalyston. Korumburra Bena yet to score.
Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
Our great friends at Totally Workwear, Gippsland, Warragul, Wonthaggi, Traralgon, and the new store opening soon out at Pakenham. I spoke to the great Nick Gooden this afternoon, and he's involved with the Warragul Industrials in this competition, who are out there on Monday on a big Anzac Day game at Tooradin against Tooradin Dalmore. It should be a good game as Marotta feeds off to the outside. Met solidly was Lockridge. So the Giants go inside 50, comes off hands. They're away here if he gets the bounce, and he doesn't. And that was Monson. Quick kick towards the boundary. At the top level, that's called deliberate, Kyle.
Yep, and not even a question raised here. And you know what? I don't mind it.
I love it. Yeah.
To be honest, the way the top level is being interpreted at the moment, I think these umpires out here are... Actually, no, I shouldn't say it's the umpires. It's the laws of the game.
I'm totally with you on it.
But, yeah, they do a great job, these local umpires.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, we've called a few games this year already in different brands of country footy, and I've loved the umpiring. I think the umpiring's... It's better than what you see at the top level in my eyes. As the Giants, now they have a chance. Gee, that pressure's good from the Magpies, though, in their defensive 50. Still inside their 50, though, the Giants. So they are a chance to go forward again. High ball. Oh, good mark, solid mark. on the last line of defence for Dalyston. Going to go to the outer side this is a tongue twister tonight. Katsasada. There you go. I'm going to go with Katsasada. It's going to come back in pretty quickly though. And that is Paul Fermanus. Now, I used to call some Southern League footy, and this boy at Oakley Districts back in the day was a great forward, very rarely misses. And
is he left footer?
No, right footer.
Okay.
And he's got sleeves. He hasn't got sleeves on either.
No, I'm off him then.
Troy Patterson said that Fermanus has been an absolute great acquisition to this footy club, and he gets the first for the Giants. And that takes them on to 117. So we're all tied up 117 apiece here at the Korumburra Showgrounds. Bit
of an arm wrestle to begin with. No team really getting too much of a run on just yet. Just feeling each other out. Korumburra probably looking to go a little bit more direct as Dalyston looking to go short and can take control of the footy. So two contrasting styles. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out throughout the night.
Gee, could you want a better night for football? As Michael Harris has gone into the ruck now for Dalyston, as the big monster Murray has a bit of a spell. Just real kamikaze footy in there at the moment. It's a game of ping pong or pinball, just bouncing off everyone. And again, they'll get a chance to go in forward. High kick towards half forward. Drop mark. Spills free. Geez, he's done well there, Marotta. And then he dances back beautifully. But the kick is astray. He was looking for Walsh. Didn't make him. And the Borough again will go inside 50 for Marnus. Just sticks the one Duke out and traps it. They come in on him pretty hard. He's able to get it out to a teammate with a high ball inside. And that was Luke Walker. What a goal.
Very lucky there. He did have someone on the outside he could have given the hands to, and can't quite see who that was down there for Dalyston, but probably needed to just get a finger on that. A great goal to Walker.
No less than 5 Walkers in this side tonight for Korumburra Bena. That is unbelievable.
All related?
I don't know. I think they are.
Fair to say it is a pretty common last name.
Yeah. Again, knocked forward, kicked off the ground, smothered off his own teammate. Then he has a fresh air shot, does Murphy. And they're away through the agency of Legione. And then he's off to Kyle's mate Parra. That's a beautiful high ball inside. 50 and a great mark. Good footy, Magpies. This is going to be a good game. And as you said, Kyle, a real arm wrestle.
It has been. And my boy Parra started pretty well. Looks like he's playing more as a high forward at the moment. I'm sure we'll see him. He'll either go into the ruck and try and jump over someone's head, or I've got no doubt he'll try and sit on someone's head in a marking contest.
So Marotta comes in. He'll kick from 40. He's hit that left and it'll stay left.
They've had the easier opportunities, have Dalyston. They probably should have converted both their behinds, so they'll be kicking themselves on that.
So the Borough bring the ball in. Long kick inside. Comes off hands. Oh, swung around in a 360. It's got to be holding the ball, and it is. It'll go to Ashkar. Omar Ashkar just lowers his eyes and hits up a teammate right on the 50, and that's Tate.
Already liking the look of him.
Yeah, good, strong, big midfielder. And that's a beautiful kick, isn't it, to your mate Paravicini. I'm going with Paravicini because you'll never take the Clayton out of me. I love the Italian names. And it's a good Italian area up
I
here,
actually, when Jack was a youngster in cricket, I coached him. And in my cricket, he even registered his own name as Jack Parra. That's why
really?
I just call him Jack Parra.
So in he comes. Gee, that's a lovely looking kick, isn't it? Not a problem whatsoever. So the boy from Scoresby, who is still in the Scoresby jumper.
He was number 17 and he was in a long sleeve as well.
Wow.
Although Scoresby go with the the white, predominantly white jumpers with the black stripes versus Dalyston predominantly black with the white stripes.
It's funny that a club that I grew up playing all my junior footy with, Clayton, have done the same thing. They used to be like this with Dalyston, and they're predominantly white. I think Collingwood did that for a year or two, didn't they?
Collingwood, I reckon, for majority of their history were predominantly white. It's only been with recent times they've gone to the predominantly black.
So Dalyston 2-2-14, Korumburra Bena 2-1-13. We've gone 12 minutes opening quarter. That's all thanks to Totally Workwear Gippsland.
Talking about the big issues here on the West Gippsland football netball competition live stream, Brad.
Yes, they are big issues. The black and white jumper, Eddie Maguire, doesn't he hold that dear to his heart? As Lello goes inside 50, that's a high ball. Oh, Fermanus. Bad luck, just didn't take it in the end. So Dalyston will take this away, go to the outer flank. Good mark, good kick. Wallace, who already has one, told to play on, well corralled from his Giants opponent. They're just mucking around with it over that outer side is Dalyston. Onto the left foot, up towards half forward. Getting the bounce there was Alexander. Oh, that was low in on the knees, and the umpires paid a free kick.
Just an injury report for Double NT Uniforms Healthcare by Totally Workwear, Brad.
Yep.
Fermanus looked like he'd potentially done something to his shoulder in that one-handed marking attempt, so I'll keep an eye on that. He looked very ginger.
Well, that's not good news for the Borough, that's for sure. And I've liked this fella's start to the game as well in defence. They look pretty strong up there, and that's Katsasada.
Are they pushing the spare back? It looks like they might be doing that, Dalyston.
Yeah, they defend well, don't they, by the looks of them early, as Pearce goes to the outer pocket right in front of the coach's box. Told to play on was Howe. High kick outside defensive 50, but it might come back pretty quickly as Borough have numbers around the ball. Oh, now they're in trouble. They've turned that footy over, probably over finessing with it in that area. Very lucky there in the end was the buoyant Lello. Out to the outer wing in front of the Old Faithful there, in front of the stand, one of the greatest social club stands you'll see in country footy. Great spot to watch the game from. As the big man just pushes his player aside, grabs the ball out of the ruck, but the Giants away through. Bailey Patterson, watch him, he's a good boy he's a local, but spent time at Gippy Power, did Bailey Patterson, and the son of President Troy Patterson. So as the ball's out of bounds, left forward pocket for the Dalyston side, Korumburra Bena side.
Just not sure who that was for Dalyston. Just waiting for him to turn around. It was a great fist, running back with the flight.
The old Spud Frawley golden fist. There's the big man again. Murray, going to be hard to beat in the ruck, but it's gone out the back to the Korumburra Bena side, and it's Fermanus again. So he already has two, and he's proving a handful at the moment.
I don't know about that defending from Dalyston. You got a stoppage deep inside 50. The most dangerous player inside that forward 50 for Korumburra Bena is Fermanus, and you've left him all alone. That's a coach killer, that one.
So on the Totally Workwear Gippsland scoreboard, Korumburra Bena 3-1-19, Dalyston 2-2-14. We've gone nearly 16 minutes first quarter.
Totally Workwear, clothing
So
your
Murray back in the
hard-working
ruck
community.
for Dalyston. This is where it's won, around this contested footy. He wins that forward, but it's all Giants. Handball smothered. In the end, Nation goes forward. Comes off the hands. Spills free. He'll go long, along the wing, towards that big fella in Murray. Knocks it forward, and his teammate Murfitt takes it out over the boundary line. They're away again, and they have Nation here on this wing, commentary side of the ground. Perfectly weighted kick. He goes inside 50. Fermanus just at the back there. Looked dangerous. Salabrine gets the handball out, but chopped off. They still have a chance to go forward, though. Shot on goal, and that was Tyler Newton. So the goal umpire and the field umpire are conversing. Is it touched? No. Straight through the middle. Tyler Newton. The big ruckman for Korumburra Bena gets his first of the evening.
He had to kick it as well because, again, they had Fermanus on the outside for the handball. So luckily it went through.
So they lead by 11 points.
Yeah, they've started to dominate around the footy the last 5 minutes or so, have Korumburra Bena.
4-1-25, 2-2-14 is Dalyston, 17.5 gone. Thanks to Totally Workwear Gippsland. So, and there is the previous goal kicker in Newton doing ruck duties. There's a free kick picked out and it'll go to Murfitt for Dalyston. It goes inside 50 with a long kick, but just backing back and taking that is Lullo. Goes close to the man on the mark, which sits it up. And Murray's there. He's a big man again. Just gets it out, and you probably want to keep the ball away in the air from him as Marotta takes him inside 50 to Paravicini, who takes the mark. And he's going to shoot for his second goal.
Bit of a shootout going on at the moment between Fermanus and Paravicini.
Good Greek name and an Italian name. I think Fermanus would be Greek. Ends in
that would
consonant.
Make sense. Yep.
Yeah. And the vowel on Paravicini is he kicked one from this same spot previously. Looks like a beautiful kick, and that's no exception. Oh, my God. Did you teach him how to kick, Kyle?
No, because he wasn't left-footed. I didn't waste my time with people who were kicking on the wrong leg. But
that is a beautiful kick. He, as you say, it's a battle of a couple of forwards here at the moment. And they're the two that it will be interesting. So 4-1-25 Korumburra Bena, 3-2-20 Dalyston. 19 minutes gone, first quarter, all thanks to Totally Workwear Gippsland. So Murray and Newton. Murray wins that, but sharked for the Giants by Waterman. Goes forward. Oh, coming through, Marotta was brilliant, just like a bull. Then feeds it out to Murfitt. And the Magpies are away. Not a great kick. But there's still a chance here. Hands on the outside. Finds Legioni. So I'll take a mark inside 50. The Magpies. It's a long way away in the dark. This will put them a point in front. And just when we thought Korumburra Bena were getting hold of them, Dalyston come back. He's missed that to the near side. So 4 points the difference, 20.5 minutes gone, first quarter, in favour of the Giants. So they come up this side of the ground. Good footy, lovely kick. So they go up the line. Hasn't got much else to go to. High kick. Kennewell's there. Comes over the back. Oh, good hands out. That was really good hands from Monson to Marotta. Have a bounce down in between wing and half forward for the Magpies.
Is it Tate and Marotta, number 2 and number 5 from Dalyston? Both look very similar. Both move similar ways. Both very good players. Yeah, big midfielders, and they're a necessity, I reckon, these days. Particularly on a smallish ground like this. So
It's Ashkar, short inside. And they go, that's a beautiful kick there from Monson. And he's found Tate, who'll go forward. Coming out and meeting that is the earlier goal kicker in Wallace. Ball's fed out. Hurry, kick it, goal. And that was from Murfitt. And he has found a teammate in the forward pocket. And it's Ethan Ford. He had Josh Wright calling for that square of him, and he wasn't having any part of it. So Ford, a shot on, misses to the right.
A community that likes to work hard. Digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I've been enough. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard. Digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I've been enough. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard. Digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up.
That was an embarrassing 20 seconds of footy. As now Dalyston will get out of that scrappy part, go up towards the arc, and it's Paravicini again. So we'll have the bounce down. The half forward flank comes out to Tate. Oh, incorrect disposal, I would have thought, and Bailey Patterson does well. Handball's out. Marotta's in there, goes low, so does Howe. Celebrine's out the back, and it comes out now to Josh Wright, who beautiful long hurry kick inside 50. But backing back, taking a good mark was Bestley for the Giants. He goes to the outer side, and ball goes out of bounds right in front of the scoreboard. We've gone now, as you'll see, nearly 4 minutes. Nothing added to the score. So, boundary umpire brings the ball back into play. Handball out from the boy there, and looked like Murphy. Out to Josh Wright, who's normally a beautiful kick of the footy. And again, no exception there. Kicks that from 40 off one step. And Josh Wright gets his first for the evening. And they now go from 4 points down to 2 points in front.
They can, and if you couldn't hear us earlier, we do apologise. We had to reconnect all the audio because someone accidentally knocked over the power and kicked the mixer out. If you're at the ground, just be wary. We've got it all coned off and tape all around the power cord, so please walk
around.
Yeah, walk an extra literally 2 metres around and you'll be all good.
Yeah.
And most people have been doing that.
Just the odd 4 or 5. As we'll have another bounce down in the middle of the ground. Murray just grabs that out of the ruck, feeds the handball off to Wright, who in turn gives another handball off. They go inside 50, reading that well now for Korumburra. They'll go back inboard. They don't mind doing that to get that switch on to Bailey Patterson, who's got a lovely leg. And again, beautiful kick to the outside. Oh, good tackle. And paid by the umpire. Then they'll get the advantage and go back inside 50. Gee, that's a good mark. Really took it at its highest point. Your man in Paravicini.
He's threatening to rip the game apart if he's not already.
Yeah.
He's,
you said earlier about his leap.
Yep.
Well, what I just seen then was incredible. He's from a standing start.
He's a very difficult matchup as well.
So he didn't sort of ride off anyone. He just jumped in midair. Has a shot at goal, and there's his third. So he looks the goods. Wow. So Korumburra Bena, 4-2-26, 6.5 gone. They trail Dalyston 5-4-34. Good start for the Dalyston side. It's all thanks to Totally Workwear Gippsland out at Warrigal, Wonthaggi, Traralgon, and the all-new store in Pakenham opening soon. So back in the middle. Knock forward. Marotta, Celebrine. Comes forward now. It's Stall. First time I've called him this evening as he kicks in forward 50, but Korumburra will repel that attack. Umpires pulled a free kick here. Now, if that's going to Dalyston, you would think it's a 50-metre penalty. And not paid. They did kick the ball away. Did the Bena, as they'll go inside 50 with a high ball. Gee, that was a good mark. Just backing back under a lot of pressure was Lalo. Short. Love this boy's game already, Bailey Patterson. His leg coming out of that defensive 50 has been good. That's not real good, though, at that stage, and put his teammate under a lot of pressure. And Tate mops up, gives it off. Handball over the top for the old Joe the Goose. And Hayden Wallace gets his second goal.
He nearly made a meal of the Joe the Goose there. He's decided to kick it down to Lang Lang by the look of it, and nearly got caught by the Korumburra player, but it's through the sticks and it's in the books. And Dalyston are starting to skip clear a little bit. I'm just starting to think, I'm just having a feel of there might be a little bit of a breeze to the right of screen. Not much, but I feel like it is the scoring end. Maybe even maybe it's the angle we're on as well, Brad, but it looks like a shorter kick to goal as well. But that could potentially just be our angle. And I have had 2 or 3 coffees today, so could be a fuzzy eyesight.
On the Totally Workwear Gippsland scoreboard, Dalyston 6-4-40, Korumburra Bena 4-2-26. We've gone 9 minutes as a free kick back in the middle will go to the way of Dalyston. They go inboard, Packer plays, good punch from behind, hurried kick forward now by Robertson. Up towards the wing. Did he drop forward or was he pushed in the back? The umpire says pushed in the back. Free kick will go to Dalyston, to Joe Alexander. Another one in the long sleeves tonight. Will get cooler as the night goes on, there's no doubt about that. High ball towards the 50. Reading it well now, the Bena. They'll come out of defence into the middle of the ground. Now going with Cody Walker on that one because that's the number we're given. Up towards half forward, but taken out over the boundary line. In between wing and half forward for Korumburra Bena. They haven't scored this quarter. They'll need to get their skates on now. In it comes. Just over the back. Oh, could have been in the back again. I thought there against Ashkar, not paid. Bounce down, centre wing position out of side. 10 minutes gone, second quarter.
Remember how I said I thought it raised a few degrees before, Brad? I think it might have
reversed.
Yeah, dropped back down a little bit. It's starting to get very chilly out here.
We are calling outside tonight.
We're under a beautiful autumn tree. We're getting tree leaves fall on it, but it's local footy, and we wouldn't want it any other way.
Got to say, it's a beautiful town, Korumburra. Absolutely love it. Sit up the top end of the main street there and have a coffee and look at the rolling hills in the background. Nothing better. We've got a great weekend of weather here in Victoria this week as the Magpies go forward. Again, just repelling, though, the Giants. They've been good, particularly that boy in Bailey Patterson. Oh, that's a good mark by the ruckman, Jack Murray. Outer wing. Has a player running past and he balks his own player, then decides to go up towards Tate. He can't take the mark, crumbed. But again, it's all orange jumpers. Good pressure from behind. Gets it to Newton to Celebrine on the outside. And the Giants, they'll come back in through the middle of the ground and then go inside 50, which they don't mind that bit of a switch through that area. Hands out then by Monson. Back into the middle of the ground. Good punch from behind. Newton overruns it and then he's clashed with his own teammate, Lalo. And they're away again out that outer side, the Giants. But it's just a real arm wrestle between two defences at the moment. And there it is. Now they might have a chance here. The Magpies, that's a good kick. Just coming over the back. Ball, umpire's blown his whistle and
Yeah, fair enough.
pulled a free kick.
Disappointed there, Paravicini. He had the two hands at it.
So Lello takes the free kick. He'll just swap that over to a teammate. Outside defensive 50 now to Zach Walker, one of the 5 Walkers playing tonight. This boy's been really, really good, but we don't have a name on him because they've got about a dozen changes from the team list on numbers. And number 24, the Borough, has been real good. They go to the outer side. The Giants just up the wing. Well run off. I'll go inside 50, but again, just chopping that off across half back. This time it was Legioni. Go short, or Legion. Inside, that's a beautiful left foot there from Monson. And they should go into an open goal here, and as per normal, they just like to run around that side, the footballers of today, and Hayden Wallace has kicked his 3rd for the game. So they've really taken some control where we thought in the first quarter that Bena started to take control at now Dalyston. And you've got to just score when you've got the momentum, and that's what they're doing this quarter. And they now go to 7-4-46. Korumburra Bena not scoring this quarter thus far, 4-2-26. 14 minutes gone on your Totally Workwear Gippsland scoreboard.
Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
So, back in the middle. That was won by Newton. Hurry kick forward. Oh, just dropping the mark. It's where they're falling down right now is across that half-forward line. Whether that be a hurry kick out of the middle or rebounding off half-back, when it gets to this area, it's coming out pretty quick. So go towards Tate. The boy, Patterson, again, and he was giving away a lot of height. And again, falling down across there, and they're able to repel. They go to Howell on the wing, and he takes the mark in front of Patterson. He'll go short. Coming out, good hands there from Walsh. High kick out, looking for Tate. Didn't have to break stride. Takes the mark. He's around 65 out from home. He'll square that to the hot spot. Oh, backing back. What a courageous grab that was. And he just backed back without any real care of his body, and he might have got hit there and caught one, but he's up. It's always a different feel when you've got the goals in front of you. That was Mason Storr. You get one of them anywhere else on the ground, Kyle, and then you take a while to get up.
Exactly right. Someone else can take the kick.
But not when you're there. So Storr hasn't got one yet.
A very big crowd on that other side of the ground here, Brad.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking that there's a wood fire going on, hence why they're all crowded around over that area.
Storr comes in on the left foot. He's been good tonight. That's a beautiful kick. And that's a really good left footer, which I know you love. Mason Storr. So, on the Totally Workwear Gippsland scoreboard, they are starting to take control at the 16-minute mark of the second quarter. 8-4-52 Dalyston, Korumburra Bena 4-2-26. They've put on 5 goals in this 16-minute period of the third quarter, all thanks to Totally Workwear Gippsland.
That's probably a contender for the Fuse by King G. Mark of the day. That one, Brad.
Take a good one to beat it, won't it?
Yeah, there haven't been too many so far, but it's only first half still.
Really courageous it was. This ball's back in the middle, and quite often as we get a secondary stoppage after the first one, Murray just slaps that out, then lays the tackle. But the Giants, that's another good tackle. Both sides tackling really well at the moment, and that's rewarded, which you like to see.
There's a Howe laying the tackle. Good closing speed.
Yes. Yeah, Matty Howe. Go short, that outer wing. They'll go inside. High ball. Again, another good tackle. The umpire says, I'll put that in the air again. So we're about 40 around from the Dalyston goal. Most of this quarter's been played in this half of the ground for the Magpies. And all wrapped up again. We'll have another stoppage. You're right. That crowd on that outer side is very thick, isn't it? It's huge. There he is again for the Giants. High kick forward. Murray comes from behind, thumps it out, but the umpire's paid a free kick.
Number 20 for Korumburra Bena might be our first ever no-name player of the day, Brad. He's probably been their best player.
Yeah, he's been great, hasn't he? As Fermanus goes short, gets it back, and then they're under the pump there from really good pressure, thrown out by Walsh. High ball inside, high bounce. Buys some time for the Giants to come back in on it. Ridden into the ground. Then given another one. And that was your man, Paraficini.
I'm surprised the umpire didn't pay 50 metres then, actually. It was right in front of him.
I reckon you're spot on. In fact, I might have been harsh. Got the binoculars on there. I don't know if that was Paraficini.
No, I think it was.
Was it?
Yeah.
There's no need for the second bit of it, I didn't think. The tackle was a little bit crude, I suppose, but the second part...
Yeah, just a bit reckless.
Yeah.
He's coming up for a spell now by the looks of it.
So, Peter Dunlop, the coach, obviously not happy. So just a little bit of a lull in play and short kick. So again, beautiful kick outside 50 from Patterson. And the Giants, they have a player on the outside. Sorry, that's Patterson. He takes it, plays on quickly. High ball up towards half forward. Now can they take a grab in this area? No. Punch from behind. Murray, hands out. He'll get it back here. Hurried kick into the middle of the ground, but again, Bailey Patterson taking the mark. So Patterson had a lot of the footy this first half, and finally they've taken a mark inside 50 in this second quarter, and it's Jay Walker. So that took 20 minutes to finally take that mark inside 50. They haven't scored this quarter. And Dalyston have been able to add 5 straight. So they really want this going into half time. As Jay Walker comes in, sits it off to the right, and it stays there. So he doesn't know where to go here. Decides to go up the middle in the end, and just reaching out over the back was Marotta. As we spoke about earlier, him and Tate, the two taller midfielders for Dalyston. So Marotta up to the outer wing. Ball just comes out over the back. They'll mop up again here through Robertson. High kick. Handballs to no one in particular. His teammate had his back turned and just tried to sandwich the Giants player. Now, here we go. It's Jay Walker again. If he gets the bounce, and he does, he goes inside, just shakes off the tackle, and a beautiful pass and dropped. Is it Fermanus? It is, and he really is favouring that left shoulder.
Since he did that early or about midway through that first quarter, he's been very quiet, so it must be troubling him.
Yeah. Yeah. And
to be fair, it's not the greatest night to be doing an injury like that. It might be a stinger, but in these cold conditions, it won't help.
Walsh Goes to the outer side. And turn up towards the wing and between wing and half back. High ball now to the wing in front of the Social Club. Comes off the hands of Waterman out of the line. We'll have a boundary throw in.
Just realising as well, Brad, that big Brendan Walsh, BT Walsh, very good cricketer. Played about 200 first 11 games in Premier Cricket for Ringwood Cricket Club.
Really?
Brother Nathan, who played at Dalyston last year and the year before, I believe, might have even playing assistant maybe over the past couple of years. Very good cricketer as well. The whole Walsh family. I played with Sam, the youngest one, who's actually a goal umpire in the AFL.
So there's a few boys out here at Dalyston from the Scoresby area.
Yeah, well, up. Peter Dunlop's,
as you said earlier,
even though he is a Dalyston legend and coached out here now for a couple of years, he's from the Ferntree Gully area.
Okay. As we'll have it thrown in, it's Newton and Walsh comes forward. Umpires pulled a free kick. It'll go to Dalyston. Out of wing. He's taking his time. Here we go with the high ball. Out of side still. Again, just able to defend both sides are. And they come back into this boy, Bailey Patterson, nearly every time. They want that leg coming out the back 50, and that's why he more than often finds a target. And that time it was Jay Walker. And then he goes up the wing with a short one. Cody Walker, high ball, punched away. They still have the footy and a chance to go inside 50. Bit of fumbling. Blind turns into trouble. And Walker again. Hurried kick forward in the end. For Dalyston, needs a bounce, and he gets it from behind for the Dalyston side. And he already has 3 as he's pushed as he kicks at his Wallace. Kick up towards Perificini. Ball goes out over the boundary line. 24 gone in the second quarter. Don't forget, it's all thanks to Totally Workwear Gippsland. Warragul, Wonthaggi, Traralgon and Pakenham is opening soon. What would be the closest one from here? Obviously Warragul, about 30 minutes over the mountain. I just did that drive. What a beautiful drive that is, Kyle.
Yeah, it's a very scenic type route on the way here from Berwick as well.
Nation. Outside, defensive 50, high ball. I like the 2 big men of Dalyston, Murray and Walsh. They go inboard again to Perificini. He's tackled. Incorrect disposal.
They really tightened up on him, Perificini.
Had to, didn't they? Yeah. And again, Korumburra Bena go to that outer side. And as we say, our major sponsor of this broadcast is Totally Workwear Gippsland, and the manager out at Warragul, Nick Gooden, watching the live stream tonight. He's a footy lover.
He is, and he's the one who let us know about the audio.
He did. Thanks for that. Big Nick Gooden. And at half-time here at the Korumburra Showgrounds, it's Dalyston with a 5-goal second quarter, 8-4-52. Lead Korumburra Bena, who was only able to add a behind, 4-3-27. We'll be back here after the half-time interval at the Korumburra Showgrounds.
I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. And it's feeling like I'm in enough. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland, whisper in my
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in love. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Wonderland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in love. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Wonderland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in love. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the roof. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the roof. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the roof. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
Welcome back to the Korumburra Showgrounds at half-time, where the umpires have just come back out on the ground, and the half-time scores: Korumburra Bena 4-3-27, trail Dalyston 8-4-52, and scores from other games in the West Gippsland competition so far today, or this round thus far. There was a bit of a split round, but Bunyip 18-7, 115, ran out big winners over Garfield 4-7-31, and other big winners: Nanagoon 18-16, 124, defeated Kuirup 8-7-55. And in the AFL, just currently underway is the Fremantle-Carlton game we spoke about earlier, and it's into the first quarter still, and they're 10 points up the Blues, and 84-point winners Port Adelaide over the Eagles earlier today. And, of course, Adelaide Crows 1 point in a thriller over the Bulldogs out at Ballarat. Did you see any of the AFL today, Kyle Pover?
I was doing a little bit of work and watched the sort of first half of the Adelaide Bulldogs game, and gee, I tell you what, the Bulldogs they're in trouble. And I've always said this about Luke Beveridge. He tries to outsmart himself sometimes, I believe. Bontempelli is a top 5 player in the competition at his best. He's a goal-kicking midfielder. He's going to kick you goals in the midfield anyway. He did it all of last year. He had that many times where he had, his 25, 30 touches and kicked you 2 or 3 goals. Unless he's injured, but they haven't said anything to suggest that he is. Playing him predominantly as a forward this year, he's just an average player. He's averaging, I think, about 17, 18 possessions, which is well below his capabilities. And yes, they're missing Josh Bruce as a chop out for a tall target along with Norton, but you've got Jamara Ugelhagen down there. You've got Josh Shackey, who was a high draft pick as well, who's certainly old enough now. I think this is about his 7th season in the system. So, I think he tries to be a bit too cute with positional changes. I think you get Bontempelli in the midfield. And look, it might push a Bailey Smith back out onto a wing, but so what? Bailey Smith's going to be a great player, and who knows, maybe one day he overtakes Bontempelli. But right now, Bontempelli is in his prime, and as we saw last year, if it wasn't for probably the Bulldogs' end of the season, he wins the Brownlow medal. So I think just get him in the guts, get him where he's going to be have the most impact on the game.
I reckon they would have missed Tim English today. He's out with a slight hamstring. They're thinking 3, maybe 4 weeks. So they would have missed him today. It was a seesawing affair. I didn't see any of it because I was calling another game. But he has improved out of sight, big Tim English. So I reckon they would have missed him out there today.
But that said, they still had Stephen Martin, who's a
200th game today.
Yeah, 200th game. An All-Australian, I believe.
Underdone, though.
Yes.
Definitely coming in today underdone.
Oh,
How did Tex Walker go, do you know?
Kicked 3 or 4.
Did he?
Really,
Okay, so
he's looked really good. Obviously, he missed a few games through suspension earlier on in the year. So, he was on fire as he was last week. He's obviously kept his fitness up in the time that he wasn't on the ground. And it's funny because I'm not sure whether Toby Green, by all reports, he was similar, where he was doing lots of running and his fitness was well up. But last night, I don't know whether it was just because of that long layoff, he just seemed a little bit off the pace and not his usual self. Being a Saints fan, I was certainly worried about him going into the game because he is the definition of a barometer for that team. They walk a lot taller when he's playing and playing well.
as we see the Dalyston Magpies come back out on the ground. The umpires are out. We're just waiting on Korumburra Bena. I must say, don't forget the Alex Scott and staff West Gippsland Football Netball Competition Red Onion live stream. A match of the night is between these two out here at the Korumburra Showgrounds. It's all brought to you by Totally Workwear Gippsland. And I might tell you, Kyle, I've had a text in from someone else, and our great friends at Totally Workwear, we've said on a few occasions, just over the hill here from Korumburra is the Warrigal shop out at Shop 61 Burke Street that is managed by Nick Gooden. Someone has just sent me through a text message. keep mentioning the manager of the Warrigal store, Nick Gooden's name, because he is under a fine system every time we say that name. Well done, Nick.
Who's that, Nick Gooden?
He's under a fine system. Every time we mention his name, he is fined.
Nick Gooden is?
Yeah, Nick Gooden. The Nick Gooden's. I think that's his name.
He's
Gooden. So
Nick
must
Gooden,
be $50 there.
He's the footy ops manager at the Warrigal Industrials.
Yes.
Is Nick Gooden.
Big game Monday. I'll be still in the area, so I'm going to drop my head out and have a look at that game between Tooradin and Warrigal Industrials out there. And they should expect a massive crowd for an Anzac Day Monday game out there, I would assume.
They're both flying as well, early days.
Yeah, and I know the Dusties have got their injury worries at the moment, but, gee, are they brilliantly coached by Harmit Singh.
Good coach, very good. One of the better
Yep.
local coaches going around. I believe he does I think he's in the system. I think
He's with the...
Is it Essendon?
Yes, I think it is Essendon.
Yeah.
If Nick Gooden, there's another $5, is listening, he might text us through that, but I'm pretty sure you're right. It might be in the women's program, I'm not too sure. And, of course, the Tooradin Dalmore coach, Lockie Gillespie, he's no slouch either. He's a ripping coach, Lockie Gillespie. That promises to be a really good game out there. And Shane Brewster, the legend of the Warrigal Industrials, played his... Oh, don't quote me. Gee, I've forgotten that now. I think it was 250 just recently. What a player he's been over a long period of time. Originally, another Collingwood jumper over at Narry Warren.
It's always good to see big milestones in local footy because
they're rare.
Because let's be honest, the player movement in local footy it's borderline English Premier League type movement where players will go and take coin elsewhere, and look, good on them. You can earn a good side quid doing that. So good luck to you if you're good enough to earn those funds. But yeah, it's always great to see players who can stick around and play a large number of games. Particularly, I'm assuming he's a Warrigal boy.
Narry Warren boy.
Oh, Narry Warren. Okay.
Yeah, born and bred and down that way and played all his junior footy. And I've just got a message through about Harmit Singh. And it is the women's competition. He's the AFLW recruiting manager at Essendon, and James Hurd, an NGA academy coach. Not a bad little thing to have on your resume.
Yeah, and I reckon he's done. Yeah, I've definitely seen his name around in
Morwell, premiership coach.
Yes, Morwell.
Vermont, premiership coach.
There's
not too many places he's coached that hasn't won a premiership. Yeah. He's a ripper, absolute ripper, and. So I look forward to Monday's game and see how he goes. And
that was Nick Gooden who texted you in about it, wasn't it?
Here's another $5. He's up for a lot of bucks. I don't know where that money's going. Let's hope it's a good charity as we're just about to get underway here at the Korumburra Showgrounds. And 25-point leaders are the Dalyston side. They will now kick left of screen to the Korumburra end, and the Giants will kick right of end, which we have called the City end. As it's back underway, and there's no need commentating because there's always a secondary bounce after the first one as the quarter starts. And
you can set your watch to it.
You can, as they just get underway again, and the umpire's pulled a free kick, and it's going to go the wrong arm signal. I was ready to go with Dalyston, but it's ended up to Bena, and Celebrine's tackled, and they'll get it back. The Dalyston side, and it's going to go to Howell. I've liked his game. He gives the 1-2 to the big ruckman in Murray. Goes inside. Umpire blows his whistle before that mark was taken by the triple goal kicker Hayden Wallace, and it'll go to the Giants. Just lowers eyes and keeps it inside their defensive 50 and finds Lallo. They like to play that out of side, the Giants, and just control that footy. And back to Lallo, who's backed up. Handball off. Walker up towards centre half forward. Bounces off. But again, the big fella Jack Murray wraps up his opponent. We'll have a bounce down.
He's been good.
Square. He has, hasn't
Murray,
he?
He's a big boy, but he's
covers the ground.
Yeah, I was going
to
say he's quite nimble for a bloke of probably about nearly 7 foot. I would have thought.
And Fermanus on the left foot, inside 50. Bounce favours his Giants. But then laying the tackle there was Katsizada. And the umpire says, I'll throw it up right in front of the scoreboard here out at the showgrounds. It's great to be in this beautiful town of Korumburra, the rolling green hills of Korumburra, as they win the footy out. It's Howell, fed out the back to Marotta. Has no one really to go to, so he goes to the boundary line and finds it. We'll have a boundary throw in, 65 around from the Korumburra goal.
Now, I just want to make an apology as well to the Korumburra Bena
They don't
community.
like it.
They don't like it. Now, it's got the just Korumburra on the scoreboard, and that's purely my fault. Brandon Milburn, the league operations manager, made me aware of that in the break.
Yeah, I said before the game, the locals don't like that. And I was made aware of that in 2019 when we called out here. Free kick to Ford. Inside 50 with a high ball. Comes to the front. Patterson, is it? Feeds that out to Celebrine. Doesn't reach him. Patterson again on the left foot. Dribbles it outside. Defensive 50. Celebrine again. Up towards the wing. Oh, well done. And they're away and inside 50 now. High ball over a couple of players. Probably taken high, or did the umpire think he ducked into it? So we'll have a bounce down. Again, right in front of the scoreboard. Newton and Murray. Murray wins that. Gee, very fast running through then for the Giants, but unable to take it. And the kick comes outside, defensive 50, and it's going to come back in pretty quick. Punched away. Running player, straight onto it. Runs into the open goal. Does Bailey Nation. Gets his first of the night, and they needed that one. They weren't able to score in that second quarter, and gets it back under 20 points for the Giants. And Dalyston, 8-4-52. Lead Korumburra Bena, 5-3-33. We're gone 4 minutes. That is on your Totally Workwear Gippsland scoreboard.
Great front and centre goal, and it's fair to say they needed that one. Did Korumburra Bena, Brad? Just gets them back into the game, and that's what they would have wanted.
I've just found out the fines that are being laid every time Nick Gooden's name is mentioned is to the footy trip away. Don't we love a good footy trip away? And
they'll be going to Vegas. That's right.
If the boys...
And Nick Gooden will be funding the trip himself, old mate.
If the boys are listening from the Warrigal Industrials, get up to Cairns and to Gilligan's, and I'll put you onto the people up there that look after you. What a great place that is. And you'll have a freebie up there on Nick Gooden as the ball goes inside 50, chopping that off with the Giants, though. High ball, and there he is again to Celebrine through the middle. Up towards centre half forward. Geez, he read that well. Again, another player with that number that we're not sure of, and that kick was perfect inside 50. And to the defence of Korumburra, it's because of the Anzac jumpers that they've been given, so players were just grabbing whatever they could that fitted. We're lucky that we haven't had one kick a goal yet that is unnamed, as this could be the first. He's missed a long way left, and he's not going to trouble the scorers there, and we'll have a boundary throw in right on the left point post for Korumburra as they press up and try to block that in. The Giants. And it comes. Newton from behind, double taps that. Handball out to the outside. Just a chance here, and it's Walker, I think, with the right foot snap at goal and misses. So Dalyston bring it in with a short kick to Katsazada. Inboard back to a teammate in Ashgar. Ashgar still inside defensive 50. Now they're right on the chalk coming out to Legioni or Legion. It's a hard one to say. He finds a teammate on the wing in Ford. Ford up towards the half forward flank. That's a good kick and a good mark to Storr, and didn't he take a courageous mark in that second quarter? And he's a beautiful left foot kick, goes towards the goal mouth, off the hands. Tate's there, it ends up in his hands. He's under enormous pressure, but the umpire's blowing the whistle. A free kick will go to the Giants. Again, they'll play at that opposite side of the ground, as they like to do in front of the social club. And 2 bounces inside 50 with a really ordinary floating kick, and just enables... Oh, he's reversed this. Now, I don't know what happened there.
I didn't even see any confrontation.
No, Armstrong took the mark, and I think something must have been said. Or, I'm not sure, but it's reversed anyway, and the Giants kick up towards the pocket. Gee, it could have been 52.
Yeah, he made him earn that.
He did, didn't he? And laying that tackle late was Legion. What would you go with on that name? Legione. Legione or Legion? I'm cutting out the E and going with Legion.
I'd probably go with Legione.
Oh, okay. I'll stick with that then. Good Italian name.
I'm probably wrong, but...
I'll stick with Legione then. As the Giants player, again, an unnamed player because he's got the 2 on. And he's missed to the left. So they come in short, inside defensive 50. They play on. They do like to go short from that kick in. And it's Marotta with a long kick now into the centre square. Is he paid the free kick for a push? He has. And it'll go to Tate in the middle of the ground. He's a thumping kick too, is Clay Tate. Goes inside 50. The long kick. Oh, just reading that well. Off the pack was Monson. But hard to get through that wall of players. And, geez, they're taking the time to blow that whistle. The reason being is they give him every opportunity to get rid of it, and he didn't, the Giants player. So,
see, don't want to be too critical of the umpires here, and it's to the letter of the law. I think he's 100% correct there. He did dive on it and had plenty of time to get it out and get rid of it. But I reckon that's happened about 50 times this evening, where players jumped on top of it and they've just called a ball up. So don't mind them paying it, but as long as it's happening frequently and is consistent.
Hayden Wallace is kick 3. So he'll line up and kick from 35. It's low, and it's got there for his 4th. So he's kicked a goal in each quarter. 1 in the first, 2 in the second, and 1 in the third for Hayden Wallace. He's very dangerous up forward. And Dalyston 9-4-58 lead Korumburra Bena 5-5-35. A 23-point lead now, 10 minutes gone, third quarter, and it's all thanks to Totally Workwear Gippsland. Back in the middle. Forced forward again for Dalyston. They're away. They're going to go inside 50. Hurried kick under pressure. A lot of players come out and meet that. Probably another free kick, and it's going to go against Lallo. And Dalyston again will get a free kick, and it's that man again, Hayden Wallace.
It's Hayden Wallace.
So he's got 4, and he's got a chance to kick 2 within a minute. And
between, I think it's him and Parra are the only goal scorers nearly for Dalyston.
So Wallace comes in. Last kick was beautiful. This is a little bit further out. So he gets under that and misses to the right. Josh Wright and Mason Storer got 1 each as well. And Paravicini has 3 and Wallace has 4. So there's 4 goal kickers. The 2 multiples as the Giants bring the ball back into play. High kick up towards the wing. Good crumbing from the Giants. They'll get it up towards half forward. Just comes out over the back. Oh, ridden into the ground then. And
no, he's put the hands up there.
He did.
That should be 50.
And I don't know why you'd question that. It's an obvious free kick as looks to go to Pearce, and he misses it. And out over the boundary line, we'll have a boundary throw in.
It's gone straight through.
Through the hands.
Like he's been eating popcorn and got a bit of butter on the hands. But it is very slippery out here as the
dew
night
kicks
dew
in,
and
yes.
moisture kicks in.
Big Murray, left hand, gets it to it. Teammate in Lachlan Wright forces it forward looking for Marotta. He can't take it. And Lockie Wright gets in there again in and after. Fermanus hurried right foot forward inside 50. Only far as Josh Wright. As we said, the son of Stevie Wright, the Sydney Swans team of the century rover. He finds a teammate short in the centre square to Murfitt. Goes high towards half forward. Gee, that's a good mark. Under a fair bit of pressure too to the Giants player. I reckon that's Lalo. Out in the dark, out of side. It is. Up towards the wing. High ball. Comes off the hands. Out the back of the pack. Falling over his own feet. Swung around the Bena player. He's pulled a free kick out of this, the umpire, and it'll go to, as I've said all night, I'm going with Cody Walker. Goes inside 50 with a high ball. Punched forward. Just a couple of steps out over the ball. Gee, that was a good handball back to Josh Wright. And he's been used now across that half-back area because his leg outside 50 is elite too, and he finds a teammate on the outer side. But that kick wasn't great from Lachlan Wright. And right in front of the Social Club outer wing.
I've just had a bit of a click here, Brad. Is Fermanus said he played Somerville
Yes.
Football Club last year. Thought so.
Yep.
The Mornington Peninsula Footy League. Very good player there.
Yeah, played a lot of rep footy, and as you mentioned in that first quarter, he's copped a left shoulder injury and strapped up now, and it really is hampering him out there now. And no coincidence that Dalyston have been able to get on tops ever since. He looked really dangerous early, didn't he?
He did. Yeah, he looked the difference, to be honest. But you're right, as soon as he did that shoulder.
They've got away from him, the Magpies, but the game is far from over. As good hands out the back from Stall. High ball towards half forward. Punch forward again. Good hands out. There's a player on the near side here in Luke Walker. Finds him. He calls a teammate on the outside to go, and he does. And it's Nation. Inside 50 high ball. It's a 1-on-3 in the favour of the Magpies. Fermanus did well to even get an arm on that, particularly with that shoulder to smother that kick coming out. Hurry kick forward behind for the Giants. So we're going nearly 15 minutes and 23-point leaders. The Dalyston side. Short kick there from Ashgar. Finds Katzazada. Goes back to Ashgar inside the centre square. Dalyston player there couldn't hold the mark, and there's a little bit of push and shoving going on in the middle. It's been good, Lachlan Wright, this quarter. He probably should have held that, though, as Murray wins the tap. But it's sharked by the Giants. Fed out through the back, double tackle. Umpire quick on the whistle that time, and he'll bounce down in the middle. .23 leaders, nearly 16 minutes gone. The Magpies has hurried kick off the ground towards centre half forward. Umpire says, I'll throw this up again. A lot of players around the ball, hard to get out of there. Newton from behind, Murray gets that, and Murray's asked for the free kick over my shoulder. Umpire's having nothing of it. And that's what Newton's got to do. He's got to come back and use a bit of a leap, because you don't want to try to wrestle the big fella as he wins that and then gets a kick out along the ground up towards the wing. Patterson, double tackled, just goes to ground to get a stoppage again and gets it. One of the tacklers there, Matty Howell, was solid. That time, Newton gets the leap over Murray, then goes in for a secondary jump. Fed out the back to Howe. Ducks back into trouble. Gets the handball out to Murfitt. And a couple of players getting agitated there right in front of the social club. The umpires pulled a free kick just to get it underway. Good umpiring.
Now, I'm glad we've got that on camera because each one of the players involved in that are going to look at that on replay and think, what was the point of that? Run in and be all macho for about 5 seconds and you all run away and it's cost a 50-metre penalty.
So the free kick, he's got a couple of wrong arm signals here, the umpire, has he? Or I reckon that's a double 50.
It is. And you'd be tearing your hair out if you're Peter Dunlop because they've got control of this game and they've just gifted a goal here. Well, should put it through from the top of the goal square, and they've gifted a goal from some undisciplined play and just unnecessary.
So shouldn't have any trouble here from 15 metres, you would think, to get it back under 20. And that's exactly what he's done. And I reckon it was Jay Walker. So he has his first of the evening after a double 50-metre penalty. First of all, a free kick, then a double 50-metre. And as Kyle Pover rightly points out, very undisciplined. And it's now Korumburra Bena still in this 6-6-42. They trail Dalyston 9-5-59. So it's under 3 goals, 18.5 gone third quarter, all thanks to Totally Workwear Gippsland.
Starting to get a little bit of feeling, obviously, after the little brawl that broke out then. So hopefully we're in for a ripping last quarter and a bit.
So they've added a couple, Korumburra Bena, and only the one for the Dalyston side as they go forward. Geez, he used the body well then, Parafacini, and then took the mark. Goes deep, but wow, what a mark. Deep in defence for the Giants, and has Lalo and Celebrine short, goes to Celebrine.
Was that Lalo who took the mark, was it?
Yes.
I reckon that might be the household leader at the moment for the Fuse by King G mark of the day.
It's going to come back, though. Running around onto the left foot was Ashkar. Finds Walsh. Gives it off to Murfitt. Has a running shot at goal. But taking the mark as the ball drifted deep in the pocket. And I reckon that's our man again. It is Hayden Wallace, who gets his 5th for the day. 2 in this quarter, 2 in the second quarter, 1 in the first. And he's quickly becoming the favourite to win the Totally Workwear Gippsland match, a player of the match here. And that, Dalyston 10-5-65. They lead Korumburra Bena 6-6-42. 20 minutes gone, third quarter on your Totally Workwear Gippsland scoreboard. Just might see who is manning him now. Someone, it's a new player, so I'll just get the
very hard to
on
see
it.
those
is.
Numbers with the
white on the orange,
white on the orange
isn't it?
with the night sky light as well.
As the ball's back in the middle, tap forward by Harris in the ruck now for Dalyston. Just hard to tackle Walsh, is it? He's paid. What's he paid there? He paid holding the man. I don't know how.
I believe he paid running too far.
But he grabbed his shirt.
I'm not.
That's weird. Anyway, free kick was against Tate. He's just flopped. They're trying to get a 50. Umpire's having no part of that. So the Giants inside centre square. Not a lot of movement. High ball. Oh, that's a good reach in the end. Again, no name. Goes forward. Fermanis comes out. Gee, that's courage, knowing that your shoulder's like it is. Punch forward. They're able to wrap up. He's been really good in defence as Ashkar for the Magpies. They still can't get out of there, though, as Pearce handballs to Alexander and he takes it out over the boundary line. Probably become the most popular spot there, that coffee van on the outer side.
I did get a coffee from there earlier. It was very nice.
Back into play. Ooh, both missed that in the end. Quick hands out from Kennewell. That's smothered. And Dalyston away through the middle. Oh, just carried that over. His teammate is looking for Walsh. They were able to chop it off. Umpire said not 15, play on. And Waterman up towards 50. Poor bounce for the Borough. Comes out to Legioni. Did he have prior? Certainly did, says the umpire. And the free kick will go to Murfitt. No. In fact, it'll end up in the hands of the big man, Murray. Goes short the outer side.
Might have been Walsh, I reckon.
Walsh, was it? He's got Josh Wright on that outer side now. Oh, good mark, high ball. Is that your man, Paravicini?
It is Paravicini.
He has got a great leap, as you said before the game. He hasn't got a bad kick on him either, but gee, that's a good mark deep in defence. And they quickly play on in a dangerous area by hand, and they're under the pump here, but they've done well to find Walker on the outside. He just gets it over the back of him and creates some space behind him. They're fumbling though. Comes back into Walker. Good hands. Short kick up the line. Finds Kennewell. Plays on. Go with the high ball. Looking for Fermanus. Punched from behind, but gee, gathered that well. And then give the hands off to Walker. Not a great kick. Goes across the face of goal and out of bounds left forward pocket.
Probably a better result in the end, to be honest. They have another crack. Because I think if they can pinch one more before the three-quarter time siren, that puts them within 3 goals and certainly within striking distance.
Comes back into play. Ashgar throws Newton out of the way, and Newton end up getting the ball, hands off. Marotta's there. Oh boy, is he met solidly and ends up going through for a behind. So whistles are plenty, and this is getting quite fiery out there. So it'll be Ashkar that'll bring the ball back into play for Dalyston. We're deep in the third quarter now, 24 and a half minutes. And the Magpies lead by 22 points. They come in and find Armstrong, still inside defensive 50. He'll go short again. That's not a great kick. And that was well hidden by Pearce. He took that out over the boundary line because he had 2 players coming down on him, the 2 walkers, Cody and Luke. So a lot of boundary throw in 50 metres around from the Korumburra Bena goal. Comes forward. Fermanus has his kick beautifully smothered in the end by Alexander. Comes out, though, to Luke Walker.
And he's after just doing a courageous smother like that, he's gone and it was a pointless off the ball bump. Wasn't even hard, but he was off balance. He was always going to knock him to the ground, and it was always going to be a free kick every day of the week.
So this could be the first nameless player of many in the Korumburra side due to some jumper changes from the Anzac Day jumper they are wearing, and it is. So that's the first one. We've been pretty lucky.
You'd be really disappointed if you're Peter Dunlop. That's their last 2 goals now with ill discipline from his Dalyston side.
It's just let him back into the game, hasn't it?
Well, you take away those 2 goals and it's a 5-goal lead to Dalyston just before three-quarter time, and it's probably going to be tough to come back from that. But they're just keeping them in the game, so they're their own worst enemy at the moment.
So on the Totally Workwear Gippsland scoreboard, the 26.5-minute mark, Dalyston 10-5-65, lead Korumburra Bena 7-7-49, and a free kick has been picked out in the middle. It'll go to Lachlan Wright of Dalyston. He quickly feeds the ball out to Marotta, who long kick inside 50, carries out over the back of the pack. That dangerous Hayden Wallace is in there again. It's kept in, and the umpire blows a whistle and has paid a free kick. It'll go to the Giants. So they're away now. They like to come back that other way, and they've found Celebrine inside defensive 50, but he will come to the commentary box side of the ground with a high ball. Pack of players. And there it is, three-quarter time. Out here at the Korumburra Showgrounds in the Alex Scott and Staff West Gippsland Football Netball Competition. Totally Workwear Gippsland match of the day. And Dalyston 10-5-65 at three-quarter time. Lead Korumburra Bena 7-7-49. We'll be back after these short messages for the very important last quarter.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm letting go in my heart. Ah, of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the roof. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm letting go in my heart. Ah,
Welcome back to the Korumburra Showgrounds at three-quarter time here. Korumburra Bena 7-7-49 trail Dalyston 10-5-65, and at quarter time Korumburra Bena enjoyed a 4-point lead. Half time the Dalyston Magpies are up by 25 points, and the Bena Giants made a 9-point inroad that quarter, and now 16-point leaders the Dalyston side here at three-quarter time. And goal kickers for Dalyston: 5 to Hayden Wallace, 3 to Jack Paravicini, and singles to Josh Wright and Mason Storr. And for the Korumburra Bena side, we have 2 to Paul Fermanis that were both kicked in the first quarter, and then he suffered a shoulder injury, but he's been able to stay out there and just cause a contest every time the ball's gone forward. Luca Walker has a single, and other single goal kickers, Jay Walker and Bailey Nation, and Tyler Newton. So it's all up for an interesting last quarter, Kyle Pova, 16-point leaders, Dalyston. Can you see Korumburra Bena getting back?
Well, I can, because Dalyston are doing everything in their power to keep them in the game. So unless there was a stern message from their coach at three-quarter time to pull your head in and stop giving away pointless free kicks that are resulting in goals, they're absolutely in the game. I think if they can get just a little spark from Fermanus. Now, I'm looking at him now, I don't even know if he's going to start, to be honest. Actually, no, the coach is just going up to him. Maybe it's one last thing of, come on, mate, I know you're hurt, and you can give us just one last effort. So if he can turn it on in this last quarter, who knows? But look, obviously Dalyston are the favourites from here, and as I said, they don't give away those two goals from ill discipline, and they're probably already with a comfortable lead. But so still within striking distance are Korumburra Bena. Now, Brad, I just thought I'd make mention, because it's been a while since we said his name, but Nick Gooden, if you're watching, hope you're going well, and hopefully there's someone else watching, tallying all the times we say Nick Gooden, because every time we say Nick Gooden gets fined by the Warragul Industrials.
For a footy trip away, and they could end up in Las Vegas the way you're going there, Kyle, just giving him a whack every minute there. And don't they do a good job, though? Totally Workwear Gippsland out at Warragul. Shop 6, 1 Burke Street. Wonthaggi 11 Murray Street. Terrelgan, Shop 3, 149 to 163 Argyle Street. And the all-new Pakenham store opening soon on Bald Hill Road. And the sponsorship that they put into this local competition is much needed, particularly after COVID has hurt a lot of footy clubs.
Yeah, correct. And this live stream simply wouldn't be happening without them. So really appreciative and great effort from all the guys out at the Totally Workwear.
That's right,
Gippsland
not just
stores.
Nick Gooden.
Not just Nick Gooden, no, there are others. I have met them over Zoom, yet to meet them in person, but I have told them to come on down and say g'day if they're in the area. We'll get them on the air and they can throw their mate Nick Gooden under the bus as well.
We should hear from him very shortly, I would imagine, after that. That's got to be about $100 minimum so far tonight as the ball's back in the middle. They're just waiting for the crowd to disperse. 16-point leaders, the Dalyston Magpies. They were down at quarter time, but they've led throughout after that. 25 at half time. And now they're 16 points in front. Can they hold on as Murray wins that down, comes out to Marotta. Turns around, they'll kick to the right of screen, the city end is Marotta again. Umpires paid a free kick. He's gone the other way here. So I didn't see it, but the Korumburra Bena boy is getting up late and they're saying he was hit high. And that's Bailey Nation. That's a movie star name, that one, if I've ever heard one, Cole. Bailey Nation.
It almost sounds fake.
It does, as he gives it off to that man, Bailey Patterson. As I said all evening, they want the ball in his hands, and that's why. He finds Newton with a great out kick. Goes inside towards a leading pack of players. Fermanus, that's the one you said at three-quarter time. He is the one that they need. High kick inside the goal square. They need to get one early. Here we're still just ticked over the first minute of this last quarter. So if the Borough can get one here, it's game on. It'll get it under that 10 points. Knocked out towards the boundary line and taking it out over the line is Zach Walker.
He nearly created something there for Manus. That could have been the spark that got them going.
Yeah, and that's what the real special players do, don't they? They just do something. So in it comes Murray, Newton. Newton gets his hand on it. Coming out the back is Kennable. He's all wrapped up. We'll have another throw in the air from the umpire. Both umpires done a good job tonight, and when it got heated, they controlled it really quickly. Murray, he's underneath that as Stacks on the mill. And third time. They just need to get this on the outside, the Borough, to get a shot on, but Murray wins that tap, and there's Fermanus again. Tackled. Incorrect disposal, and that shoulder really is worrying him. It's just a courageous effort that he's even out there. Dalyston side go high, looking for Tate. Just controls the ball in the air well, looking for Walsh, but his handball's smothered. And that's a good decision if he's paying the throw against Boyd Robertson, and it is. And the free kick will go to Tate. He's in between wing and half back. There's a short lead there by Ford, but that's overlooked. He plays on, then just sits it up high. Paraficini was at the back, and at the front was Lockridge. Ball goes out of bounds. Centre wing position right in front of the Red Onion camera.
We've got George on the camera duties today, one of our most experienced camera operators.
Comes back into play. Murray, geez, he's hard to move. It's fed out the back. Gee, they did well there, Korumburra, and they're all lining up on the outside, and it's Celebrine in the end that receives it last, then kicks up towards the half-forward flank. Again, Fermanus. Kick over the back. Can they keep that in? No. It's a behind. So they're peppering away, and they've had the majority of the play in this early stages of this last quarter. And the first 4 minutes have been played in their front half.
When you go out on a limb here, Brad, and say if they kick the first, they'll win.
Ooh. So it's
Big call.
15 points. High kick out towards the wing. Good punch from behind. Gee, that was courage. I've loved the courage of all players, and those players have met head on there as Patterson falls over. Then he lays a good tackle low. Keeps his team in it with a really disciplined pressure tackle. Kick goes inside.
They might
50.
need to stop the game here.
Those two are crook.
They're no good, the pair of them.
Well, it must have been a clash of heads. I'm surprised.
Yeah, it definitely was. It was accidental.
Surprised he hasn't blown his whistle to pull that up, because it was big Jack Murray that nearly ran over the two of them. And they've called a ball up here. So will he now halt play? The two players are up.
One of them's, they're both coming to the bench now. The Korumburra Bena player's favouring his right shoulder as well.
Walker, hurry kick inside 50, or towards 50, sorry. Geez, I've liked his game for Dalyston, Monson. So the pressure on applied again, but they're able to get the kick up the wing, but has it gone out on the full or out of bounds? The umpire says throw it in.
Out of bounds.
Yeah.
Of course, those injury updates are all thanks to Double NT Uniforms, healthcare by Totally Workwear.
Where do you buy them?
From Nick Gooden's store in Warrigal.
I love it. As the ball comes back into play, group of players over that. As Cole Piver has predicted, they need to get the first one. Are you giving them a time frame to get that first one? They're inside 6 minutes. Do they need that under 10? Or?
Yeah, probably if they need to kick one within the next 5 minutes.
Yep. No prior for Howell. So we'll get a ball up on the outer wing right in front of the social club. Isn't it great to have footy back and people in the crowd as the ball beats them out over the boundary line? And Howell's asked for the deliberate, and he gets it. And that's the first one of the night.
Might have been on the full.
Ah, okay. So it come off the slipper and went out on the full. He comes in board to Tate. Tate now usually really good inside 50 with foot. And I'll tell you what, no exception there.
That's
what
a
great
perfect kick. The initial kick to Tate going inboard just opened up the corridor, and that's a forward's dream when you can have someone open up the corridor with a beautiful kick like that and then put it out in front, and you can't ask for much more as a leading forward. Right
in front of a big crowd, he's going to have a shot. I think it's Wallace. The way he's moving, that looks like Hayden Wallace, who's got 4. He'll come in for his 5th. In fact, it is. And he's missed. Been good, though, as Hayden Wallace.
He's been the difference, that's for sure.
So it's 16 points, which was the deficit at three-quarter time for the Magpies as the ball comes back into play from the boot of Lallo. Right in front of the coach's box of Korumburra now. High ball up to the social club wing. Backing back. Free kick. It's going to go to Korumburra Bena and it's Newton. It's going to take it. Quickly plays on. Has a player on the outside with hands. Geez, they're mucking around with it. I don't know. He was under the pump, was Boyd Robertson. So the handball shouldn't have been given. And they're away really quickly. And this will really hurt if they can get one here. And it's that man that I reckon's played really well as Mason Stall. But he's missed everything, out of bounds on the full.
He had players on the open side as well, sort of putting their hands up in the air asking, what about me?
Now, who sung that?
Well, I know Shannon Knoll probably did the better version.
That's the one. That's who it is. As he slipped over as Patterson, as he tried to run off, and it's gone through from behind. They quickly bring the ball into play. They need one really soon to keep themselves a chance to win this game, this Korumburra Bena. But they're not going to do it like that, mucking around with the ball inside their defensive 50. And we'll have a bounce down as Tate is all wrapped up by Waterman. So still on the 50 chalk there for Dalyston. Comes out. Now they're away, the Giants, but, gee, dropping the mark, probably should have taken that. It was Monson. Then just a plethora of players in over this. He's given them plenty of time, the umpire, but in the end he says, no, let's restart it. Sung the praises all evening about the umpiring. I think it's been brilliant.
It has, yes.
As it's thrown in the air again. High ball, not 15. Umpire calls play on. Looking for Tate. Finds him with the hands. This leg usually is elite, and again it is. To your man, Brendan Walsh. Goes inside 50. Gee, that was courage by Celebrine backing back, but it's got out over the top. Have that player on the outside. Hurry kick forward from Lachlan Wright. And there he is again, kicked off the ground, and that's the man Wallace.
Now, they're going to pay advantage here. I don't see why they wouldn't. The play was...
So he's pulled up the free kick and given it to Paraficini, and he was away.
It was certainly there, but I would have thought you just pay the advantage. The play hadn't stopped.
Did Wallace definitely kick it through?
Yeah, the goal umpire was ready to signal goal. Now, and now the secondary umpires come in and said, that's a goal.
That's good umpiring if it is. No, they're going to let Paraficini have his go, and he's had 3 and he wants 4. Wallace has already got 5, and he said, hold on, give me a crack. So Paraficini is a beautiful kick for goal. So that was never going to worry him from that distance. Gets his 4th for the night, and that's probably all over. That's a big call because we are still in the early stages.
I think you're right. I think they needed the first one because, let's be honest, they didn't really have the momentum. Did Korumburra Bena. They got back in it through some ill discipline from Dalyston. So if they had got that first one, they could have had the momentum, but I think now it's just going to be a little bit too difficult. So I'm ready to call it.
So on the Totally Workwear Gippsland scoreboard, Dalyston 11-7-73, Korumburra Bena 7-8-50, 11 minutes gone. Last quarter. Big punch forward. Now they're away. They'll go inside 50. That's Marotta. High kick towards the goal mouth. Coming out, there he is again. Paraficini. And he's got his 5th. 2 within what? 15 seconds. Now that does. She's clearing her throat. Ha ha. Definitely over now.
Yes.
Wow, you said at the start of the game about this boy. He's lively, isn't he? And at the start, it was up one end for the Giants. It was Fermanus, but then he did the shoulder, and up the other end it was Paraficini and Wallace. So between 2 players, they got 10. There's your difference.
Yep, absolutely.
And Fermanus has had the hurt shoulder from the first quarter. So they're 29 points up, 12 minutes gone. Last quarter, Dalyston. And they're looking for their first win of the season. And it was that man, Marotta, there again. They're away, though, the Giants. They'll go inside through Newton. And they'll take a mark inside 50. The Giants, and it's Zach Walker. He'll kick from, I reckon, 40, 45, slide angle. He's a right footer, so he's definitely on the right side. He's gone short, laid off, not a great kick. He was looking for Fermanus, and the way that shoulder is, you've got to hit him on the button. He does well, gets the handball out. They're coming back to Fermanus. Flicks it away again. Good pressure from Dalyston, just forcing them back. They've ended up back into the centre of the ground, and Newton finds Celebrine out of side. Between wing and half forward. He'll again go short. Chopped off for the Magpies, though. And they're quickly away. And they'll just rebound here. Kick's not great, but Wallace makes it better than what it was. Goes to ground, gets back up on his feet. Hands off to Murfitt. Not great there. And again, we're going to have a bounce here on the outer wing in front of the social club.
So they both kicked 5 goals, Brad. Who gets the votes? They've both been pretty. They've both kicked 5, and they've both probably had similar amount of the footy as well.
If I got to think really quickly off head, Paravicini for me. He's leaping. I mean, Wallace would be stiff, but gee, Paravicini's been good. But gee, haven't they had some good midfielders too in Tate and Marotta?
Yes.
And
they've picked up a bit this quarter. They died out a bit in that second and third. They started very well when the game was obviously there to be won early.
And then Murray's been good. It's given them first use. So ball up, out of wing. We're going to get a secondary one here. No. Umpire's paid incorrect disposal, so he was quick on the trigger with that one. And Korumburra Bena, high kick inside 50, but he's been good too as Omar Ashgar.
Yeah, liked his game.
Yeah. And he finds Tate. Again, he's had a lot of footy in this last quarter, midway through. Has Walsh if he wants him. He does this a bit, dances around the man on the mark, then a high ball. It's 1-on-1, comes to ground. Fed out the back, so the Giants will go back out that outer side again to Patterson, off to his teammate. Bestley. Go short. They're going to come back this way. He's undecided. And he's got himself in trouble. But Bestley backs up. Gets the handball off him. Hurry kick towards that half-forward area again. So it's just handball after handball. And they're under the pressure. And that's why they're handballing as Murfitt wins it now for the Magpies. Comes in towards the centre square, but it's going to come back as Newton's won the ball. Handball's off. Finds a teammate on the outside in Jay Walker. He'll go short. That's a beautiful kick. Finds a teammate inside 50. And we've gone with Cody Walker all night on the number 3. Hasn't got one yet. And he's going to shoot from 35 to 40. Directly in front, he's missed that to the right, and he's not even going to get the distance in the end. Punched away. He's going to go out towards the boundary line and out over the line. We'll have a boundary throw in 30 metres around from the Korumburra goal. So we're now ticked over 16 minutes into this last quarter. Ball comes back into play. Smothered handball, kicked off the ground, out of wing. And again, it'll be Storr on the left foot. Just punched away from his teammate. Paravicini's in there again. Storr butters up, but Korumburra Bena do well to mop up and link up. Come out through the middle of the ground. Have a player on the outside in Jay Walker. Again, back into the middle of the ground, and it's been good. The nameless 20.
I was going to say he's probably going to feature in my votes.
Yeah, he's been great, hasn't he? That's a beautiful kick with depth and holding the mark under extreme pressure. Then for the Giants was Matt Kennewell. And he gets an opportunity from about 35. So here's the opportunity to get his first for the night. Certainly had enough of the play inside, 50. As Kennewell comes in, he sat that left, and that's not going to come back. So 28 points now after leading by 16 at three-quarter time. The Magpies, they bring the ball back into play. Still right on defensive, 50 outer side. Short again. Up the line. Find Josh Wright. So Wright, high ball up the wing. It's Walsh again. Towards half forward, pack of players, punched from behind. Ends up to Bestley. Handball's out the back. Dangerous kick still inside their defensive 50 from the Borough. Really courageous there from Walker. He was met heavily and crumbing that and having a shot on goal was Howell. He misses to the right. So inside kick towards the boundary for the Korumburra Bena side to Lalo. Going to go back to where it came from, to the goal square, to Patterson. Kicks outside the defensive 50. Rare time his kick didn't find its mark. But they're able to mop up without any real hassle. But they do handball a lot in these tight confines because of the pressure they're under. And that kick has gone astray. But there's been a free kick. And it'll go to the Giants. They're right in the middle of the ground. Boys screaming for it everywhere. They go very, very wide on the outside. Then they'll go in. But not a great kick. And taking the ball out of the boundary line, over the boundary line, is Armstrong. With a boundary throw in, right forward pocket for Korumburra Bena. Late in this quarter now, it's nearly all over. Just ticked over 20 minutes into time on. Walsh knocks it forward. Oh, again, our man, who's going to figure in your votes, the nameless 20.
Yep.
Has his kick smothered and through for a behind for the Giants. In short. Josh Wright. Goes across in front of his coach's box. They're going to come back this way again. It's going to be Ashkar, who's said all night has been great. High kick. Outside defensive 50. Carries the pack out towards the boundary line and out over. Boundary throw in. In between wing and half forward for the Korumburra Bena side. Trail by 28 points. Back into play. Feeds out. Hurry kick forward for the Magpies. High kick. It's towards Storr. He falls over. It allows the Giants to come in, but Wallace is there. Knocks it out. They'll go to Patterson normally in this situation, and they will end up in his hands. Not a great handball. Does well, and then he's pushed in the back and allowed to take the advantage. Luck's a fortune for the Giants because that was missed. Salabrine lays the tackle in the end. Comes out to Armstrong. Handball back is behind Walker, so it enables now the boy in Legione. And the umpires paid a throw against him, and it's Bailey Patterson. Gee, he's played a good game for the Borough.
Yeah, he's been good. He's been one of, if not their best.
And he might have just have a look at that. He's still inside defensive 50. I reckon he might have hurt his left shoulder, which is already taped. They go up towards centre half forward, but it's going to come back pretty quickly, and that's really good footy by Monson.
He's been good, Monson.
He has, hasn't he? As they go up towards 50, but, gee, they're going to spread this way again, the Giants. And again, it's going to be Bailey Patterson. He'll go short. They're still just on 50, defensive, in the middle of the ground now. Not a lot to go to. They've just zoned back here. So he goes for the big spiral, and I'll tell you what, he's got onto that. Umpire's pulled a free kick, and it's going to go to Fermanus. It's a long way out, but if anyone could do this, he'll kick from just outside the 50, probably 55. He's going to...
Is he kicked two?
Yes. Yeah,
Both
2
early.
first quarter goals. He's ended up... Oh, he's found someone in the pocket, just allowed to get out there on his own, and he's gone straight to him. And he rushes back quickly. Does Matt Kennewell?
They've certainly been the better team, but Korumburra Bena have managed to get some goals that they probably shouldn't have, just purely from whether it be a lack of discipline or lack of concentration from Dalyston.
And Kennewell gets it. He's first for the night. Yeah, you're right. And they've had enough of the footy, haven't they? An inside 50. And I know I sound like a broken record, but since Fermanus hurt his shoulder in the first quarter, it's come out pretty quick when it has gone in there. And Korumburra Bena, they go on to 8-10-58, 22 points adrift. Dalyston, 12-8-80. We're gone 24 minutes. It's all thanks to Totally Workwear Gippsland. Don't forget, Warrigal, Wonthaggi, Traralgon, and the all-new Bald Hill Road Pakenham store opening soon. Back in the middle. The Burrick go forward again. Coming out and meeting that really hard was Lockridge for Dalyston, but the umpires pinged him for incorrect disposal. And it'll be Newton for Korumburra Bena that take the free kick. He's still inside the centre square, and there's a siren. And it's all over here at the Korumburra Showgrounds. Korumburra Bena, 8-10-58. Have gone down by 22 points to Dalyston. Their first win of the season, 12-8-80. We might take a quick break, Kyle. Come back.
We've got the mark and goal of the round to
carry right through.
To go on with, as we nearly forgot last week. So we need to give them the time that they deserve, because they've put in the funds for it, Brad. So why don't we start with the goal of the day? Goal of the day, thanks to the King G Trade for Comfort Max shoes, which, as I've said, I'm no tradie, but I have a pair myself, and they are as comfortable as what Nick Gooden would say. Goal of the day goes to a no-name player from Korumburra in that...
you've given him goal of the day.
From the third quarter, that right foot snap, sort of mid to late in that third quarter, which sort of potentially got them back into the contest. Obviously wasn't to be in the end, but so I've given the no-name... Number two, goal of the day. Mark of the day is also a Korumburra player, but it is the man, is Lullo.
Oh, yes, he's back.
Yes, he's backing back into the pack. I think it was the second quarter maybe, or maybe the third. Actually, no, it doesn't matter anyway. But yeah, he was our Fused by King G mark of the day, Brad. And my votes, my one vote goes to the nameless man again, number 20. I'd like to know
from Korumburra
Bena.
Yeah.
He was fantastic, cross half back, and spent a bit of time in the midfield at times as well. He was clearly their best player and distributing off half back. He set up a lot of their plays. Given my 2 votes to Wallace for his 5 goals effort, and he probably could have finished with maybe 6 or 7 and pinched the best on ground, but the best on ground goes to my man Jack Paravicini, and I did tell you before the game he was a good player and he didn't let me down, the old boy.
He's kicked 5 goals. He was very good, there's no doubt about that. My 3-2-1 1 vote I gave to Bailey Patterson from Korumburra, Bena. Thought he really used his leg coming out of that defensive 50 well and set them on their way a lot and propelled a lot coming in. I gave 2 votes to the midfielder from Dalyston, Michael Marotta. Thought he was a really good player for them in the middle. And I gave 3 votes, 5 goals, a super effort, and apologies to Hayden Wallace, but I've given the 3 to Jack Paravicini. I thought he was superb. He, as you said at the start of the game, watch his leap, and he certainly showed that he can jump. He was brilliant. So final scores out here at the Korumburra Showgrounds. Dalyston 12-8-80 have run out 22-point winners over Korumburra Bena 8-10-58. They led by 4 points at quarter time, Korumburra Bena, but Dalyston at half time led by 25, and then at 3/4 time 16, and they have run out 22-point winners in the Alex Scott and Staff West Gippsland Football Netball Competition Match of the Day. All thanks to Totally Workwear Gippsland. Get out to Warragul, Wonthaggi, Terrelgan or Pakenham. They have got Gippsland covered. It's been a great night out here, beautiful night in Korumburra. It's all thanks to Red Onion Creative, the masters of live stream filming. I'm Brad Sinclair on behalf of Kyle Pover and our cameraman George out here. Have a very good evening and enjoy the rest of your long Anzac Day weekend.
See you, Nick Gooden.